Hi, hope you had a great day. You're watching JVG Entertainment, and for this video, I'm gonna go into Super and Lois Season 2, Episode 11. And I'm gonna be giving you my breakdown for the episode, the recap, just so if in case you want to get a quick refresher, then I'm gonna give you the full recap, as well as a spoiler review for it. I'm gonna give you my thoughts and everything, so it's gonna be a spoiler review, and theories for the next episode. So it's gonna be a really interesting video, like I said, breakdown, spoiler review, recap, and theories. So it's gonna be a really, really nice, complete video of this episode that I really think you're going to enjoy, especially if you're like me that really love this episode. I think you're really, really going to love it. So yeah, without any more to do, let's get started. So for this episode, we got a bunch of new stuff. Starting with the cliffhanger, and we start with the cliffhanger wherever Jonathan goes to Lois, and he's looking for the other Jonathan. The bizarre Jonathan's looking for the art Jonathan, and he tries to merge with him. And Superman's like obviously going super super fast, and Jordan tries to fight bizarre Jonathan, but he loses in his first encounter that he has against him at the very start of the episode. And he starts merging with our Jonathan. However, Clark gets there just in time to stop the merge, and Jonathan flies off. So that's very interesting. So interesting stuff, and this is where we start to get more into like Jonathan having like these headaches and everything, and these visions of wherever the other Bizarre Jonathan is, kind of like whenever Clark was having that with Bizarro, which makes a lot of sense. I think that makes a lot of sense, and it's pretty cool how they still bring in back those type of visions, how they still use them in the story, and how they didn't forget about them. A lot of shows kind of forget about this type of stuff, and I'm really happy that they're still using the same element and they're keep the continuity going. I think that's really really cool and really really interesting. So yeah, really good about that, and I really thought this scene was really intense. I was watching and I was like, is he gonna merge? Is he not gonna merge? Like I really did not know what was going to happen, which is one of the things that I really like from the show, is that it's very unpredictable. You never really know what's gonna happen. It's always taking risks, and that was one of the times when I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if he's gonna get saved or not. I'm really really curious, and I'm really really scared. You know, I felt like like we're getting really close. You know what I mean? So that's really good. So at least you can feel the tension. Then from there, like I said, we start to see these headaches, and they call John Henry Irons to try to solve a solution, to try to see how they can stop this bizarre Jonathan and everything. And Clark Kent is obviously catching up because it's been 30 days since he's gone missing, and he does not know that. And so he goes and tracks down Jonathan, because our Jonathan sees a vision of bizarre Jonathan, which is like he's right in front of Lana. So Clark goes over there, and he's about to go fight Jonathan, and Lana pops up, and she's like, "Hey, Clark, what's up?" And it's been a month, and Clark's like shocked. First of all, it's not the best timing because Bizarre Jonathan's right there. He has him like right on his grip. Second of all, obviously he did not know it has been a month, so he was like, "It's a month," you know what I mean? He was like super confused. He was like tripped out by it, and so he kind of like left really rudely, and this obviously did not. Around down obviously didn't like that. She felt like kind of like, oh, okay, he doesn't want to talk to me, okay, you know, which makes sense. She felt like, oh, okay, wow, okay, that kind of sucks. Especially after she just won the election, and Clark is her best friend, so it was like, I really can't wait to talk to you about this. And instead, it was like a pushback. So that was like, oh, okay, that's pretty bad, okay. And I felt Lana's pain, but I also felt Clark's pain. You know, he has to keep a secret. He has to do this, he has to do that. So I felt it all. So I thought that was very very interesting. So yeah, and this does end up building towards the end of the story, which I really really like. So from there, we had like this discussion where it's Jonathan, Jordan, and Lois and Clark, and they talk about what happened, and they're like, "We got all this to keep a secret, all this to keep a secret that you're Clark Kent and everything." And so it's like this huge discussion, and I really do like it. I'm like, okay, whoa, this is really really good. Where it's like, is it really worth it to keep a secret if it means endangering other people? Which I think is a really interesting conversation, and I think it's a fair point. I think they both have their points. From the one side, especially from Clark's side, you don't want to reveal your secret identity to everybody because, like we saw in the Bizarre World, things can go wrong really really fast. It can break the family. It puts them in a lot of risk and everything. So obviously there's a whole dilemma. But then again, whenever you're trying to keep a secret, you have to sacrifice a bunch of stuff. You have to sacrifice a bunch of relationships with other people, as well as for sometimes whenever you can't reveal a secret, you like sacrifice the mission as a hero, like we saw in the one with Lana, where he had to sacrifice like the mission of going after Jonathan to keep a secret. So it does put people in danger. So I think this is like a really nice moral argument that I think that it was really interesting to have and to see, because I really do think that this was like not a one-sided conversation. I think there was like a balance to them. I was like, yes, they had the point here and they had the point here, so it's like a really interesting conversation. So I really love that. Also, Clark finds out that it's a month, and he's trying to catch up with everything, including whenever he finds out that Lana won the election. He was like, Lana won the election, and it was like such a happy face. I really really enjoy that. I love the relationship that Clark and Lana have. I think that it's an amazing friendship that they have. I really really like it. It's like you can feel it's a very genuine friendship, and where he just wants the best for her and she just wants the best for him, and I absolutely love that. I think that's really really incredible. It's kind of funny how they used to date. I just love that. I don't know. I don't know if Lois is ever jealous of them. I think that she maybe, I don't know, maybe is she a little bit jealous of them sometimes? I don't really know. But yeah, it's an amazing stuff, and I really do think that that's incredible. So incredible stuff like that. I love that friendship. And then he also goes to Jonathan, and he's he tells them about Candace because they learn about he just finds out about Candace, and they get into another fight. There was this moment whenever Clark earlier in the episode was like, "No matter what, I know we're going through rough times, but no matter what, I'm still gonna be here for you. I'm gonna do anything to protect you." And it's like a really nice moment. And then moments later, he goes over there and he gets mad at him over Candace, and it kind of breaks that, and it kind of makes me feel like maybe Jonathan is going to go bizarre. You know what I mean? It kind of something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen, because they're clearly building up Jonathan to have like this internal conflict. He's having one right now, and they had to build to something. You know what I mean? They had to build to an angle, and I think the angle might be that he's gonna end up merging because right now things are not good. That things are not good in his house. He's like if I was, he definitely feels very miserable right now. You know what I mean? His first of all, his bizarre doppelganger. Second of all, he's still getting a bunch of blame for the drug thing and the whole drug scandal and everything. So he's definitely going through a really, really hard time. So I can definitely see him ended up merging with his bizarre self. I think that's a very high chance of happening. So we'll see, but hopefully not. But it will be a really interesting way to take the character. And then from there, we see that Bizarre Jonathan, kidnaps Lana and takes him to his place, like covered with lead. I think that's what it is. So that's why Superman can find him. And he tries to bring the Lana from his universe to this universe, and he actually does succeed. He ends up bringing the Bizarre Lana to our universe, or not to our universe, but the universe that we're familiar with. And whenever she crosses the portal, what's his name? John Harry Irons and his daughter Natalie happen to be there, and so they get into this really nice fight. And I was like really interesting. I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool fight. Sadly, Lana seems hurt. I don't know why she's all hurt. I think maybe because she crossed the portal. Whenever she crossed the portal, she got hurt. I'm assuming that's probably what it was, but I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, John Harry Irons, he has like the solar flare thing, the red thing, and he shoots her with it. And obviously, since she's from the Bizarre World, it ends up healing her instead of hurting her. And he's like, oh crap, I just messed up. And he starts getting beat up. I really thought that he was like in serious danger. I was like, I still feel like he might get a little injured. I feel like he's gonna end up getting injured, so his daughter's gonna have to take over as Steel. I think that might end up happening because he keeps getting injured a lot. It's like they're kind of foreshadowing it. And I think it's gonna have to happen at some point. And I think in the comics, his daughter does end up taking over his mantle as Steel. So I just think that that's gonna happen like in the comics. So I expect that to happen maybe at the end of the season, whenever maybe he's gonna get really, really injured and he can't do it anymore, and then his daughter's gonna take over that mantle, or at least she's gonna have a plot to eventually take over that mantle. I think that might be the case, but yeah, keep that in mind. He keeps getting hurt. It kind of seems like foreshadowing to me, so keep that in mind. Anyways, Natalie stabs Lana with an X-Kryptonite crystal type of thing, which I think is cool because in our universe that makes us like super strong, but in their universe that's the weakness. So she does that and it sends her back to the portal, back to her universe, which I thought was a nicer solution. So that thread is done with right now. But obviously, I feel like this scene was meant to foreshadow. First of all, John Hammer is getting injured, so I think that's my first theory. That by the end of the season, he's gonna get injured really bad, and then Natalie's gonna have to take over either immediately, or she's gonna have to have a whole plot line where she starts to take over, and eventually decides that she will take over. So I think that might do that side, and also to just kind of have a really nice fight scene in the middle. It made Lana very intimidating. I really think that it's a lot of fun for the actor to have to be playing a superpowers. She never has superpowers or a suit, so I think it's really cool for the actor Lana to really be playing this. I think that's really awesome. I mean, if I was the actor, I would feel like, yeah, this is so fun, this is so cool. So yeah, that's really cool for her. Anyways, going back, so she's captured, right? And I like the way that Lois and Clark find out that she's kidnapped. I think it's a very like, they really build up to it. Like it's like through Sarah, and then through like this Jonathan appearing in front of Sarah, and then this, and then that, and then Sarah calls Lois, and then Jordan has to lie to Sarah and everything, and this whole thing. I think it's like a really interesting way to do things. So I thought the build up was really cool. I thought it felt very genuine, which I really like. I thought it felt very genuine. So I absolutely love that for sure. So then Clark eventually ends up finding Lana after Jonathan has like the vision where he can see where the Bizarre Jonathan is. So Clark goes over there, and it was a trap. So this thing explodes on him, and then like kryptonite gets over him, and then the Bizarre Jonathan stabs him in the heart with kryptonite, and he goes to the farm of Clark Kent, where his family is. And he's trying to merge with our Jonathan, which makes a lot of sense. And from there, we see Jordan's like, no, I'm not going to allow this to happen. And so they get into this fight, which I thought was like really cool. They get into this fight. And at first, he's terribly matched. Jonathan's destroying the crap out of Jordan. But then Jordan gets the motivation. He's like, you have to win. If not, we all lose. It's going to be terrible. So he gets the motivation, and it starts getting a lot more evenly matched. And I also think that the Bizarre Jonathan might be having a weekend by the sun that we have in that universe. It's not the red sun, it's the other sun. So I think that might have also weakened our Jonathan. So keep that in mind. I think that might have been a weakness for him. Just like in the Bizarre World, Superman was weakened by with the red sun. I think that's the same case here. So, anyways, when they were like fighting, right? And I thought it was a really really cool fight, especially whenever he takes him up to the air. I think that's really cool. I don't know. I still can't tell Jordan was the one that flew him there, or if it was Jonathan, but I thought it was a really really cool scene, and he's fighting him to the air and everything. It was really really cool. The CGI is really awesome, and you just really really felt each of Jordan's punches and each of Jonathan's punches. I thought it was really really cool, and then whenever he catches it, I thought that was also a really cool scene, really empowering scene. And then whenever at the end, whenever he's like, "This is for my brother," he punches him one last time. Really cool stuff. I really like the bonding between Jordan and Jonathan. I think the brotherhood is super, super cool, super nice. We obviously see a lot from it in season 1, and we get to see a lot more, and we start to see a lot more of it from season 2 starting now, which I think is super cool. So I love every time we see that brotherhood. I absolutely love it, and here we saw it a lot. So that's really, really good. So that was a really good fight. Meanwhile, Clark is like trying to not die because he got kryptonite in his stab. So he frees Lana's from the handcuffs, and then Lana tries to save him, and she does. And so he flies off and tries to save Jordan, but he doesn't need that help. Jordan did it. However, he does start like falling off from the sky, and Clark catches him, so that's pretty cool. Then he saves his life technically, and so yeah, I don't think Jordan would have died though, because since he is a Kryptonian, I think he would have just kind of like really hurt, but I don't think he would have died. I think just a theory. I think right. I don't think he would have died, right? Because he's Kryptonian. He would have just gotten like, he would have just like it hurt, but that's it. I think perhaps I don't really know. I could be wrong. But I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So that happened, and so they win, and so eventually the episode comes down to, okay, are we gonna tell Lana the truth? Yes or no? Because Superman goes back to Lana, and they had like a really nice moment, and I thought it was really really cool. The moment between Superman and Lana, I thought it was a really cool moment, so I thought it was really cool. And then Clark goes back to his house, and he's like, okay, I think I'm gonna tell Lana, but I want to make this decision as a family because it's gonna affect all of us, which just shows how great of a guy he is for a family. Like he's perfect. He's a perfect daddy. He's a perfect husband. So girls, get yourself somebody like Clark because you need something like that, okay? And boys, get yourself something like Lois, okay? Because she's also pretty cool. Anyways, so going back, so they all support. They're like, yeah, go for it. And so we got this scene where Clark finally reveals to Lana that he is Superman, and it was such a cool scene. It was so beautiful. Like here's some images right here, and tell me that isn't beautiful. Like that's literally beautiful. I was like, wow, that's incredible. From the moment where he's standing in the road to where Lana's like, I don't have time for this right now. I have such a long day. You have no idea what I'm going through. And he's like, yes, I have. And then he takes off his glasses, which honestly could have been really goofy because his disguise obviously is really stupid. It's just glasses, but he takes off his glasses, and the show does a great job of setting up the mood. And then he flies, kind of like whenever he told Lois that he was Superman, and then he kind of blows like this air. He's like, and like it freezes the tree, and it looks really beautiful, and then the sunset's like right behind him, and it just looks like chef's kiss. That looks amazing. The cinematographer did an amazing job, and so the director, which is director for this episode, was David Ramsey. If you don't know him, he's the actor of John Diggle in Arrow. So he did an amazing job directing this episode, an amazing job. He directed some previous episodes, I think in season 1. I don't think in season 2, but I think in season 1 he directed like 1 or 2 episodes, and he directed some episodes in Arrow as well. So he has already some experience directing, and he's an amazing job. He's an amazing director. I think he's done an amazing job directing this episode. So that was super awesome. This episode was no exception. This episode was directed super awesome. So yeah, and we get the revelation. Yeah, he tells her, and that's super cool. I'm like, yes, finally. And also the cliffhanger, and that's where the episode ends. And then we have 3 more weeks to the next episode, or 4 more weeks, and I'm so mad about that. I'm like, another Hatreds. I am so tired of them. However, whenever the Superman Lois comes back, we're gonna be like straight, like 4 episodes straight. I think it's 4 or 3, into the finale, and then we're gonna watch the whole thing. So that's really cool. So at least we won't have any more Hatreds, but they've been really annoying. So like, please stop with that, please. I know Kobe has something to do with it, so I understand, but it's just really annoying. So hopefully they stop with that. But it was an amazing cliffhanger that they left off, and I'm so hooked for the next episode. So where do I think the show's gonna go from here? I think that's actually a very interesting question. And I honestly don't know. I think that's like, that's a really interesting question. Part of me says that, okay, Lana's gonna get mad at Clark because obviously it's been just a long time, they dated and everything. So I would understand if she got mad. I do think she's gonna get mad for at least an episode. But I think by the end of the episode, she will understand Clark and she's gonna be on his side. I think it's gonna be like a really cool thing to join forces. At least until she finds out that maybe in the real world she has powers. We'll see. But clearly she's gonna learn the whole truth because in the trailer we see that she's gonna learn everything. She's gonna learn the bizarre world. She's gonna learn Tall Road. I think she's gonna learn the whole thing. So that's super awesome. They also tease that Clark will team up with Tall Road because he had to stop that bizarre universe. So I think that's super awesome. And they're gonna get the whole crew together clearly. So yeah, they're gonna get a whole crew together, which things gonna be super awesome, and then they're gonna have an amazing fight. I think that's gonna be super awesome. I don't think that's gonna be the next episode. I think the next episode is gonna be getting them together, explain everything. I want to see how the relationship between Superman and Toro grows. I want to see where John Henry Jones is gonna play, what role he's gonna play in this team. You know what I mean? I want to see how Jordan's powers are gonna improve. I think that's gonna be another huge thing. And I'm really curious to see whether Sarah's gonna find out about Jordan's powers. I am really interested. I genuinely don't know. I don't think that she's gonna find out. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think she's gonna find out until the end of the season. I think she's gonna find out at the end of the season. If not, I think that Allie might tell her like sometime in the finale or like the episode right before the finale. That's gonna make her like completely hate everybody. So I think that might be a really strong chance as well. I think that would be a really nice way to kind of play with people's emotions. But we'll see. I think that Sarah has kind of come off a little bit as an annoying character in this episode, where she was like, I don't know, I wasn't feeling the plot between Jordan and Sarah in this episode. So we'll see how they end up kind of like fixing it a little bit. I hope they fix it and they don't make it a bigger problem. But we'll see how that ends up going. I'm very curious to see. I'm curious. Did you like their plot in this episode? I'm very curious. I know their plot is very mixed. So tell me that down in the comments. Okay. So yeah, that's my theory for it. I still think that the finale is gonna end up. I still think that Allie's gonna end up winning. I don't know if it's gonna be in the finale or episodes before the finale, and then they're gonna have to like fix it. But whatever it is, I do think that Allie is going to win. I still fully believe that, so I do think Allie's gonna end up winning. Like I think that she's gonna lose overall in the fight, but I do think that she's gonna end up merging the both worlds. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I do believe that's gonna happen. So think about it. I think it's a pretty nice theory that yeah, they're gonna deal with the repercussions of that in season 3, or they're gonna have to like fix this at like in the finale or something. I think that might be a huge thing to subvert expectations. I think that's a really smart thing really smart way to subvert expectations. So we'll see. I think that would be a really smart way. I would personally love to see that happen. So yeah, that's my personal opinion. That's my personal preference. Tell me your own theories down in the comments. I'm definitely very curious to hear that. So please tell me that down in the comments. So yeah, overall, I thought the episode was really good, really solid. My favorite thing about the episode is just that it really felt like it was bringing me back to like Superman Lois episode 1. And just technically the whole season 1, you know, the season 2 has been a different vibe than season 1, I think, especially because of Bizarre World. We've been kind of like shifting gears and everything. So this episode really felt like I was going back to season 1 of Superman Lois and kind of feeling more of the Smallville vibe and everything. And I really enjoyed that from like episode 1 of Superman Lois to like the whole rest of the season. I think it just felt a lot more like Smallville and a lot more like Superman Lois season 1 than any other episode of season 2 has, because I feel like we had so much tension in the past episodes of season 2, and like there's Bizarre World and there's this and there's that. So I thought this did a great job to kind of return to form. I wonder if it had something to do with the director David Ramsey. I think that maybe that had to do with that. But also I think it's just that the story itself was more focused on like Lana, and obviously this focus means that it's gonna be more focused on like Smallville in general. So I really did like that. I really loved that vibe was like from season 1. So I really thought that was amazing, and I really thought it was a really nice way to return to form, at least before the episodes get all crazy with this huge team up and fights and everything, which is going to be super awesome. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Tell me your own thoughts down in the comments. I'm very curious. Tell me that down in the comments, please. I will read them, I respond to them, I leave them a like and everything, so tell me that down in the comments. As well as leave a like to the video if you enjoyed the video. It would be very helpful, so please leave a like and subscribe for more other content. Superman Lois, every time a new episode comes out, I do a Superman Lois video. I'm covering Doctor Strange, What's the Madness, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Moon Knight, all that type of stuff. Subscribe for all the content that I'm sure you're going to enjoy. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great story day. And this is James Entertainment out.